It is not beyond your reach to get a job, to design or to plant an entire city. I noticed that a lot of states in Nigeria are now opening up new cities. Port Harcourt is doing that. Abuja has plans for a new city just because the main cities are getting congested. So right there and then, there are opportunities for you to collaborate on or to, bid for jobs where you are drawing the landscape designs for an entire city. Sometimes you can go beyond that, where you are now asked to do the planting as well. We've talked about parks already because you've already seen all the parks that have been created in Lagos State. The interesting thing about parks is that you cannot have a state involved in landscape work without creating what is typically called parks and gardens. So in many states in Nigeria now, there's a new department that has been created under the Ministry of Environment called Parks and Gardens. And that in itself creates a whole new opportunity for jobs. So it is the Parks and Gardens department that has given people the contract to do the planting in Ijora, CMS, and the other places that we have mentioned. Now, when it comes to retail, this for me is particularly interesting. So when you're driving around Lagos and you see all the little flower farms with people planting, they are the retail end of the business. So there's a local part of it where you are selling flowers or plants that are local to Nigeria. They're peculiar to Nigeria, they grow here. There's the other side where you are selling imported plants, and I've skipped one, I realize that. Where you're selling imported, that's very big. When I first started in 1994, there was only one person importing. I eventually got into that end of the business as well and began to import things that don't grow in Nigeria, like roses and chrysanthemums and things like that. And it's a huge part of the business. What happens there is you don't even necessarily have to plant. You don't have to do any flower arrangements. If you are on the importing end of things, you have people who line up every Friday and who are buying things for you for weddings, for parties, for center table arrangements, and all sorts of events. But, no, I'm not ready yet. But what excites me the most at the moment is the export end of things. I'm not interested in export. So what I'm doing now is that I'm giving you a little expo. That side of the market has hardly been touched. So there's a high requirement for, export plants. What sort of plants are interesting outside of Nigeria? The way that we get roses or roses or chrysanthemums, and we look at them and we say, oh wow, we've never seen this, this is really nice, and so on and so forth, is the same way that some of our plants are received outside Nigeria. And there's an aspect of planting called foliage. The foliage are the things that typically you use when you're making flower arrangements to fill the containers so that you do not see the base of the container. And you can use the golden palm, and there's several other rich green leaves that can be used. Right now, there's only one company that is growing foliage for export in Nigeria. So after this meeting, a handful of you can come together and think about whether this is a possibility. And then you can approach someone to say, can you help me put a proposal together? I'm really interested in this. And begin to take the steps that are required to become a player in the export market.